objective sense of it. I've said this too many times, so I'll say it one more time. I think we're here to make things. I think our curiosity is all about innovation. That's the primary function that this species has. If you looked at it from afar, you'd say, look, what is this thing doing? Oh, it's making better stuff every year. It always does that. No matter what it does, it makes, unless it nukes itself into the Stone Age, which is always a threat because the better stuff that it makes is often weapons. And it often gets better at making money by utilizing those weapons. So it keeps doing that, which is what you're seeing all over the world right now. But I think if you looked at like the one thing it's doing, it's making better things. And it's so wrapped up in buying those better things. Materialism is so rampant, and everybody, despite what you have being more than enough, you want more and better and new things. And that fuels consumerism, and consumerism fuels more innovation. And it's like baked into the mentality. Sort of like, I don't know if bees know exactly what they're doing when they're making a beehive, but they all make beehives. You know, they're all doing that same thing. And human beings, what we're doing is that we're at least working towards buying these things that someone's making.
Don't you think human creativity is what makes us uniquely human? On top of all that, our ability to fashion things from nothing, to create music and beauty and art. Look at those scratch marks from 300,000 years ago, and then you go into the painted caves 30,000 years ago. And then you follow the production of art throughout our species, you know? I feel like that's the kind of thing that AI won't be able to resolve for us.
Perhaps.
The process of what it means to engage in a creative act and to produce something that the whole species...
When you hear a great song or see a great painting, like why would it want to do that, right? And why do we want to do that?
Why do we do
it
that?
For each other. Well, you talk about creativity. And I think creativity is the fuel of innovation. All things that we use today, whether it's a cell phone or a laptop or whatever it is, all of those things came out of the imagination. All those things came out of someone's mind. And I've always wondered, I wonder if ideas are life forms, like a type of life form, like a thing, an energy that manifests itself in the creation of actual physical objects. And that it gets into your mind and it interacts with your being and it talks you into making a coffee pot. I mean, doesn't it make sense? All these things that we have, everything in this room came out of someone's mind. Everything.
See, that's where I think we have the edge on AI. And I think that we don't understand the genius, the divine genius of where that creativity comes from. I collect different quotes from like musicians talking about the creative process. Jamie, I sent you a couple. There's in the email, there's one from John Frusciante. He's the guitarist for Red Hot Chili Peppers. Like, I love listening to musicians talk about where music comes from and where inspiration comes from. Because I think it's one lens that we can use to think about the creative act in general. Like it may start with music, it goes to everything that's here, it goes to the art of a conversation, it goes to comedy, it goes to the way we make children, by the way, which is a very creative act and something that comes naturally to most of us. Like, I think that's what makes us human, is that this ability to translate something that extends beyond our physical bodies and then to embody it, whatever that it is. Frusciante calls it the force, and then to make something of it, something that can resonate with the community. I think that's something that AI will be able to do in fits and starts, but I'm not sure that we understand the process. And that's why I think about the process of life and death too. That's why I think that the thing that makes us human is the way that we engage with those invisible forces.
Yeah. The way we engage with those invisible forces. Yeah, that's it's unique about humans for sure on Earth.
Jamie, do you have that quote from John?
Yeah, but
What is the quote?
it's saying, like, it's a video. I don't know if you wanted to read it or play it or what.
Yeah, you can play it.
Yeah.
Is expressing itself through our existence. I don't believe that a musical idea starts in your brain. I believe it starts at a place before that we don't have any direct contact with. And I believe that everything that we do, everything that we create, is nature expressing itself the same way that when a flower grows out of the ground or a tree grows out of the ground, it's nature expressing itself. And you might say that the tree is expressing itself by the way its branches move out, but it's the force that drives nature the tree is the visible thing that appears to our senses, but I don't at all believe it's the source of why everything is perpetuated all the time, you know. Force that created us.
That makes sense. Yeah, well, most comedians will tell you that jokes come to them like a gift. Like your mind just like a door opens up and like, here it is. And you're like, oh, wow. Oh, my God, what a great idea. Like these ideas just pop into your head. You see, and sometimes you see things and you describe them and you like, and the idea will come from that. But sometimes ideas just come to you. They don't even feel like, you don't feel responsible for them because it's not like you dug a hole. Like, here's the hole I dug. You do write. You sit down and write, right? You do the physical act of summoning the muse, which is how Pressfield talks about it in The War of Art, which is a great way to, because it is that. Whether or not the muse is real, if you treat it as if it's real, it will show up. Like if you show up every day and you write, you say, I'm from 9 a.m. to noon every day, I sit in front of my computer and I write. If you do that, the ideas will come. They will come to you.
That's crazy.
Well, where are they coming from? Where is that? Yeah, what is that
Do you
thing?
think AI can figure that out? I'm not sure if we can figure that out.
I don't know. It's a good question. It's a good question. Like, what is the unique inspiration for ideas and our desire to pursue them? Like, what is it? I think that's part of what makes us innovate. And that's part of like what, if you were looking at us from afar, you go, what is this species doing? It's making things. And how do you make things without creativity? You don't. You wouldn't. You would have no desire to. So there's the question about AI. It's like, can you program that desire to innovate into a thing without all of the primate characteristics that we possess?
We seem to have this innate ability to do it in a way that we know will resonate with people. Have you ever read AI jokes?
Yeah,
Do you think
they're not inspired, but they're real young. It's like a joke from a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
5-year-old tells you a joke. It's like, my daughter's really young. One of her favorite jokes was, what kind of tree grows in your hand? Palm tree. When you're 5, it's hilarious. And I thought it was really funny. I'm like, that's a solid joke. But like, that's a 5-year-old joke. If you try to do that on stage at the mothership on a Saturday night, they'd be like, really?
That's kind of my point, man.
Yeah.
So where do your jokes come from?
But AI is young, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
AI is a 5-year-old telling jokes. When AI becomes a PhD from Princeton, you're going to be dealing with a very different thing. As AI becomes, I just can't imagine that whatever it is that makes.
Hey, woman, since your man ain't got no heart, what's going on in my apartment tonight? I'll show you a real man.
There you go.
What? Fuck you. Hey, woman, since your man ain't got no heart, what's going on in my apartment tonight? I'll show you a real man.
There you go.